Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series on Sebastian Crow's Guide to Dragonheim, the latest book from the Dungeon Dudes, my fellow D&D YouTubers. Today, we're talking once again about the Apothecary, their class that represents the mad scientist of forbidden knowledge. And we've already gone over the class itself. It's an intelligence-based, short rest-based full caster. Very similar chassis to the Warlock, but it has more spell slots, and it has a very medical, science-y vibe to it. And several subclasses that lean into different kinds of sciences, whether the alienist, the chemist, the mutagenist. There's so many cool varieties of the apothecary. But one feature that every apothecary gets is their esoteric theories. Esoteric theories, again, using the chassis of the Warlock, are very similar to their Warlock invocations. They are passive buffs. You get them at level 2, and you start with 2 of them. And then every other level, so every even number level, 2, 4, 6, 8, etc., you get another one. Also, every time you level up, you can swap them. The book here has 41 different esoteric theories, so there's a huge variety. And several of them are level locked. This means that you, some of the more powerful ones, such as using adding your intelligence modifier to poison-based spells, which boost their damage, or casting Hold Person on a creature once per rest for free, or casting Lesser Restoration at will, like a cantrip. Holy crap. But those are all they're level restricted. I went through the whole list and found that of the 41 that are there, there are 19 that have no such restriction. And I've prepared a top 10 list of those non-level locked esoteric theories. Passive buffs that will boost your apothecary in a very specific way as to customize your playstyle. Before we get into the list, though, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge in your name, next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But you also get early access to the videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and for members, I upload them a day earlier. So if you like your first weekly episode on Sunday instead of Monday, you can click the join button just below the video down there. If that doesn't interest you, that's totally fine. I'm still thankful that you're here, watching my content. Thank you so much for supporting me here on YouTube. So, esoteric theories. Let's change the apothecary's playstyle. Very first up, anatomical precision. For the record, these are in alphabetical order. I haven't ranked these like 10 to 1. Anatomical precision simply says that instead of using your strength or dexterity for your weapon-based fighting, you can use your intelligence. This is very similar to the armorer or battlesmith artificer, and it makes your apothecary less mad, less multiple ability score dependent. You don't have to worry about your strength if you're fighting with strength-based weaponry. And this does pair really nicely with a different theory we'll talk about in a second, but overall it's just a really strong option. If you want to just pour everything into intelligence, you're not sacrificing your weapon's damage or chance to hit. So that's a solid one straight away at level 2. The next one is Bedside Manor. Bedside Manor grants you 2 extra skill proficiencies, Insight and Persuasion. Now, the Apothecary is not a skill type character, and Insight and Persuasion are wisdom and charisma based skills. But it's not just proficiency. This feature also grants you expertise, something only reserved for bards, rogues, and rangers. And the idea that you can take this science-y, kind of not super charismatic doctor type person and suddenly give them a huge boost in their insight and their persuasion really helps round you out and sell the idea that your bedside manner is getting better. And I love expertise. I think that anyone who has the ability to take expertise should. Therefore, I think that this is a wonderful ability for an apothecary. But I mentioned earlier anatomical precision would pair nicely with another theory. It's this one, combat medic. Normally, apothecaries are proficient in light and medium armor, no shields or heavy armor, and they're proficient in simple weapons plus short swords and hand crossbows, and that's it. Good weapons and a decent selection of armor, but combat medic says, here, have all martial weapons, so you can have your pick, grab a greatsword if you want it, and shields. So if you want to play longsword and shield, sword and board style, you can. It opens up the options to you, and when paired with anatomical precision, now you can not worry too much about your dexterity, and you don't have to worry at all about your strength. Strap on some medium armor and a shield, grab yourself a big weapon, and just go to town with your intelligence modifier. So combat medic is, and even if you don't take anatomical precision and you want to focus on your dexterity, this gives you all the bows, all the crossbows, all the dexterity-based martial weapons. Great choice. The next one is a very, very cool power that's usually reserved for specific subclasses. For the apothecary, it's called diagnosis. And it's super simple. It allows you to use the help action as a bonus action. As a doctor-type character, the idea that the apothecary can be a healer is absolutely baked into the class. It's in their spell list, and it kind of works with the idea. But the diagnosis bumps that up even further. Using the help action is powerful. Using the help action as a bonus action, even more so. And if you've got nothing better to do with it, you don't have to, find a feat that allows you to, like telekinetic or something, or, multi-class to give you a good bonus action-based spell. You can just take this esoteric theory and start handing advantage out to your friends. It's really, really strong to be able to help as a bonus action, and I think it's well worthy of this list. Now, the next power, in fact, the next two, I'm going to lump together, even though they're separate, because they basically represent an entire feat on their own. There is Extracurricular Research, which grants you any 2 cantrips in the game. Doesn't matter what their class is, doesn't matter what their baseline ability score is, whether it's intelligence, wisdom, charisma, it doesn't matter. They just become apothecary spells for you. So if you didn't grab guidance at character creation, this is a great way to get it. If you're looking to pick up Eldritch Blast, you can do it this way, although the Alienist gets that anyway. Or if you're looking to broaden out, with Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, any of the great utility-based spells, or if you want to get the trifecta of Prestidigitation, Druidcraft, and Thaumaturgy, I don't know, that sounds a little gimmicky to me, but whatever. Any 2 cantrips in the game, they're yours now. And the apothecary could certainly use extra cantrips, because they only get a couple, they only get 2 at the early levels. So I think this is a really powerful one to pick up. The other one I was talking about, Laboratory Assistant, grants you the spell Find Familiar. It's added to your spell list, always prepared, and yeah. The reason I think that these 2 resemble a feat is that the Magic Initiate feat also grants 2 cantrips and a spell, and is most commonly used to pick up Find Familiar and then 2 wizard cantrips, which is likely where you'd pick up the spells from anyway, unless you want something super specific. Meaning that these 2 esoteric theories, when paired, just become the Magic Initiate feat without actually getting the feat. And I think that that's well worth, because that's one of the best feats in the game, and here you can just get it as a passive buff from your class. So yeah, cantrips and Find Familiar. The next one, Medical Expertise, another skill-based power, granting you the proficiencies in medicine and nature, very thematic, as well as expertise in them. This is almost invaluable for the Reanimator Apothecary, because they get a skill level 6 that lets them roll no lower than a 10 on intelligence-based skills. And having expertise, in the nature skill at least, certainly will pump that up even further. But again, I say anything with expertise is an awesome power in my book. And here you pair this with Bedside Manor, you have 4 expertises at level 2 if you want them. That's more than rogues get. So if you really want to go skills, you have the option. Now, the next one is a bit of a quirky one, and mechanically isn't that powerful. I love this power. Medical Lexicon. This grants you 6 brand new languages. See, a lot of folks don't import languages into their game. I know I certainly don't all the time. But sometimes I think it's the coolest thing ever to be able to understand the languages of any creature anywhere you go. And the idea that you can add 6 is awesome. And then as an extra bonus, you get to cast the spell Detect Poison and Disease at will. So you are getting a mechanical benefit if languages aren't useful to you. And Detect Poison and Disease at will is still a niche spell. So if languages aren't your thing, maybe you don't get this one. But to me, saying that my background and my race and then this feature has let me become decalingual, where I know 10 different languages, to me that's just absolutely incredible and superb for role-playing. So I'm going to throw this one in here as a personal favorite. The next one is Rapid Response. Rapid Response says that when you cast a healing spell, you can move up to your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. It's almost like the mobile feat, but specifically for healing, and it's your movement outside of your movement. So if you're going to cast a healing spell, whether I could see this working both ways, where you need to get close to someone to cast a healing spell, and you can do the movement before the spell, and you need to move extra. Now you don't have to dash. You can just go 60 feet and heal someone. But I could also see this happening intentionally to get a speed boost. You cast Healing Word on someone, not because they need it, but because you need the speed boost, and you need to move without opportunity attacks. Guess what? Healing Word, and go for it. It's an option. And free movement like that is invaluable in D&D. Battlefield positioning, battlefield control, these are all things that are useful, and this ability is just an esoteric theory that you can grab, and then you've always got it. There's no limitation to it. The final one, and this is actually, I believe, the only one I've said so far that has any limit to it, but it's an amazing power. It's called Vital Signs. Vital Signs, once per short rest, you can, as a reaction, add your intelligence modifier to a saving throw that your ally has failed. So, let's be clear. We are intelligence-based casters. We could be attacking with our intelligence as well as casting our spells, so it's our primary stat. So we've got a +3, 4, or 5 bonus, depending on where we are in the game. And we can, once per short rest, buff a saving throw by 3, 4, or 5. That's a really significant buff. That's a huge chance to turn failure into success. It's mechanically equivalent to giving someone advantage, basically, but you get to do it after the fact. And the cool thing is that the once per short rest doesn't limit you, technically. It's the receiving creature. So if you've got a party of 4 adventurers, you can actually do this 3 times, and then short rest, and do it 3 more, once per person, per short rest. So it's not quite as limited as it seems, but this is just a reaction saving throw buff. This is effectively Silvery Barbs without the spell slot, and that's kind of awesome to let someone reroll. Well, I guess Silvery Barbs makes you reroll with disadvantage. The point is that it grants advantage to someone, and effectively giving them that boost and potentially letting them succeed. It's a great power when it comes to the math of the battlefield. And all in all, These esoteric theories are just a snapshot. They're my favorites. They're the ones that seem the most powerful to me, but there's so many out there, whether they are level locked or not. Reading through the full list of esoteric theories was a thrill. The Dungeon Dudes put a lot of effort into making it so that any class any subclass you take, you can still customize your apothecary in special ways. Extra magic, extra skills, extra proficiencies, extra damage, extra resistances. It's all in there. And however you want to build your apothecary, these theories let you do it. By the end of the game, you'll have 11 of them at level 20. There's so much customization in this, and if you're gonna play the apothecary, this should be one of the things you're looking forward to getting. Thank you, Dungeon Dudes, for doing an amazing job with this feature. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, as well as a link to Ghostfire Games. They are the authors, or rather the publishers, of Sebastian Crow's Guide to Drakkenheim. I highly recommend you check the book out for yourself. Have a good one, my friends.